Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. This is what I'm going to talk about today. Now, you may have seen me do a couple of other little videos on this kind of thing on the channel before, but what this is a 3D printed impact grenade. And I've been playing around my 3D printer. If you follow the channel, you're probably aware and you've probably seen me print a whole load of different stuff, including doing giveaways for members, etc., of different stuff I've 3D printed, if that's suppressors, handrails, handrails, upper kits, lower kits, full of replicas, whatever it is. And I actually had a company who reached out to me and said, hey, do you want to print our 3D printed grenade? And that was a while ago. So I actually did that. It kind of worked well. I showed it off. I did some shorts firing one of those kind of little BB cap things. The mega snaps, I think they were called. But this is a different one. And actually it's from an airsoft YouTuber called Fulcrum Airsoft. I actually was doing one of my viral video commentary style things on one of his videos completely separately, not about not about anything in regards to 3D printing, something he was doing like a review of a MOSFET on an AEG, which is normally not something I have any expertise or talk about. But at the end he mentioned, oh, look, I've got kind of my 3D printed files. Went and checked out his site. He actually commented on the video and said, hey, answered some of my questions like, oh, okay, you can buy these from him, but also can I print them? He said, go and check out my Cults 3D site. I did that and I actually paid for this. I ordered the file and I printed it, and I am really, really impressed with this thing. From what he said, he was like, look, I kind of came up with this concept early on and a lot of people have copied it. So I don't know if his was the original one that he did, but this is from Fulcrum Airsoft. I'll put a link down below in the description, but I printed this, I built it, I just tested it, and I'm really blown away by it. I have to say, I'm really impressed. I actually sent a video of me using it. It's a short actually on the channel right now. Go and check it out. You can find it if you search like Fulcrum Airsoft Grenade. You'll see me using it, and I will have a clip of me using this at the end of this video. But I was amazed at how loud this thing is. It's super, super loud considering what it uses to fire, which I'll go through in a second. But basically, really easy to print. I'll show you his website now quickly, where you can actually get this. Here it is. It's called his Meteorite Grenade. I think this is the most recent one. So you see someone, or he has in this picture, he's printed it in this green, like FDE PLA. I printed this in eSun PLA Plus. It's great. I mean, I've thrown it around a few times now, just testing it. But basically, you just need the file to print this. In terms of price, you can see up here, you're paying €13.94, so about $20 basically to buy the file. Now you're thinking, oh, $20 for a grenade, you know, like that's expensive. I could buy a Thunderbee for that. Yes, it is money. However, you could buy this file and then you can print these as many times as you want. And I think the cost of printing this is about $3 or $4 in terms of like the actual PLA you're going to be using plus the power. So you could buy that for $20. You could then print like 10 of these and have as many of these as you want. It does take a couple of other parts, which I think he shows you here. There's like a video here where he shows it, but basically I'll show you in here. You need an M5 by 50mm screw, which I have just inside there. And then, oh, if I can show you that. And then you also have a, is it going to focus on that? Don't look at my face. Yeah, an M5 by 50mm screw. You need a small section of like an AEG M110 spring, and then 2 small screws. And that is it. Literally, that's it. So I built this together. In fact, what I will do is I'm going to take this apart just to show you guys how it works. But it's a really, really cool design where it's pretty simple. And the other ones that I've printed before, they have like a spoon design, which is fine and it works well. But this, you don't even need any of that. I'm just going to take off these screws at the top. So these are 2 screws that basically I just put in here, and the thing again is like, if I mess this up, it doesn't really matter because I can print another one. In fact, I am actually printing another one right now, which I will show you on here. So I'm printing one right now. And so time-wise, this thing is going to take 6 hours. I think it was 7 hours total. No, 6 hours, 12 total. So it's going to take about 6 hours on my printer to print everything on there. And then I'll come up with all of these parts This is obviously the main part, which is the body of the grenade. I then have, it's only like 5 or 6 other pieces, which was quite amazing. Because I think because I've printed a couple of these, and there are definitely different options out there. Like there's people who have either, from what he says, like copied his design or done kind of very, very similar designs. There's stuff out there which you can find. But basically, all you're doing is taking this screw. Those are 2 little screws just with the end cap. You're basically taking, I'm going to take this off. You're basically taking that screw, which is the M5 by 50. You're putting this little end cap through it. You're then just putting it through this fuse plate. You're then putting a spring on this side underneath, which is this 40 millimeters of an AEG spring. So out of an AEG spring, you can see I've cut this here. And you could probably do 5 or 6 grenades out of that. I bought this one, and he's got a link. I'll put the link, obviously, to his YouTube page, but also to this Cults 3D if you want to go and buy it and print it. But he basically, you can get probably about 5 of those little small springs out of a full AEG spring. I think they're about $11. I think the one I bought is from Lancer Tactical, ordered it from Amazon. Super fast, super easy. I'll put a link to that as well. And then you're just taking the screw and you're just screwing it through the bottom. That is basically just then allowing you, and I'll show you here, that is allowing you to have this function. When I push this in here, you can see there, it's quite hard to show you. I've actually probably got it on too high a spring load. But I've basically just wedged that on that little nub. And so on that ledge. And so all you're having to do really is wedge that on that ledge. Then you are taking this screw cap top. And as you can see, like when that rotates there, it blocks it from moving. So that's basically when it's locked in place. This thing that I just took off, this basically is just a cap that goes on the top. So it stops it from coming off. Again, really, really clever design. I mean, I just don't have the like engineering mindset for designing this stuff that some of these guys do. But yeah, really, really kind of clever design where it means that you're using like 3 pieces basically to get this thing in place with just 2 little screws. I'm just gonna, there we go. That's probably easier just to do it that way. I've ended up, I just need to take these screws out and then I'll do it properly. I'm going to get some black screws for this because these silver ones are the only ones that I had lying around. But you can very easily from Amazon, again, I'm a big Amazon guy. You can very easily go to Amazon and just get a set of screws. And I'm going to get some black versions of these for very cheap. But as I said, it's kind of like minimal parts needed. You're basically needing 2 screws, a bolt, an M5 50 millimeter bolt, and then a AEG spring. And if you buy a couple of those, then you're set because you can. It's not really going in here now. I'm trying to like rush it for you guys, which actually is kind of being counterintuitive and doing the opposite. So that's just going to hold that screw thing in place. That screw thing, the screw top. You do have some other options as well, like when you buy the file. And he's got some different designs as well. He's also got some like other really cool stuff, like landmines that use 40 millimeter grenade shells. Like, go and check out his Cults 3D page because it is pretty amazing. And then you can see here, that A there is when it's armed. And then you can switch it over to this S, which is when it's safe. So if I have it in the armed mode, I load it in. Just need to make sure there. Okay, and then I switch this to safe. That means that I can't set off now. Now, the thing that I love about this is that it uses something which is super cheap and I thought wouldn't be that loud, but they are super loud. Now, these are like the cap gun, little like 6 rings. If you remember when you were a kid and you had like a little cap gun, if you're my age, and it basically was just like a gun that you'd put this in the little cylinder and then you would fire it and it would fire one of these tiny little caps each time and it would be very, very quiet. I ordered these from Walmart. I think I literally got all of these packs of them for like $12. So depending on where you're finding them, you can literally go out and you can buy tons of them. Each grenade strike is going to take one of these. And basically you're just separating this. Like this is not probably the best quality rings. I'm sure you can buy a lot better quality. But you're just taking one of these sets off. Before a game day, I would just separate all of them and get a ton of these together. Or alternatively, I would just print a load of these as well. And this is like a little plastic plate. And all that plastic plate does is allow you to put one of these rings on. You're then going to put this in the bottom of the grenade. This is like priming it. So that's basically just going to sit there. And that's the top like striking plate face. And then if you look through the middle here, you can basically see you've got that red set of the caps on the bottom, and then that is right there. This thing is just going to screw in the top. And what's going to happen is when I release that, I drop the grenade, that little thing is going to switch off that ledge. It's going to drive this down. This thing's going to hit that plastic plate, and it's just going to pop all of them at the same time. And like when you used to fire a cap gun and it was one of them, it wasn't very loud. But now all I have to do is just twist this, throw it, and it's an impact grenade, and it's like incredibly loud. Like I'm going to show you a clip to it right now, but just wanted to give this guy a shout out for this design because, as I said, my friends already text me being like, hey, I need to do one of those. And I think it's just a really clever design. Like I could print 10 of these for a squad of mine who are going and playing somewhere, and we could then basically just all have impact grenades for like $22. They're incredibly like reusable because obviously I just need those little ring caps and I'm good to go. Instead of it being like a Thunder Bee where each throw is like $4 or $5, this thing's probably like comparable loudness wise, and it's just so much cheaper. It's maybe like 10-20 cents a throw. So yeah, I'm a big fan of these. So I'll show you guys now, if you continue watching to the end of the video, I'll show you me throwing this in my garage. I'm not going to throw it in here because my dog and my kid are around, but I'll throw it in the garage. You'll see that it actually kind of gives a little fireball. This kind of is pyro, so that's one thing to note is it's not really like bad pyro and it's not going to like cause any big issues, but it is technically like an explosive charge effectively that's going off. But as I said, I'm like amazed at how loud it is. I threw it in my garage earlier and it was like ear ringing loud. You can also check in there. You can look and be like, right, that's, you know, primed or it's not primed. This thing's really clever as well with the A and the S. As I said, I'm going to switch these over to black, but I'll put a link down below to Fulcrum Airsoft's channel and to this like Cults 3D page where you can go and see this and his other designs. I think this one has got 599 views. And so it's got like 5-star ratings. So people are doing that. Also, you can go to his website and you can just buy one directly. So he'll print it for you and send it to you. So yeah. So anyway, guys, this has been Fulcrum Airsoft's, what does he call it again? The Meteorite reusable grenade. I'll try and get some gameplay with this thing as well, but stay tuned right now and you'll see a video of me throwing it. And please have a great day wherever you are. Goodbye. Okay guys, so here it is. This is the Meteorite from Fulcrum Airsoft. As I said, it's pretty easy so far. I've worked out to use, but basically I just twist this to A, throw it, and it's insanely loud, insanely loud. I don't know if you can get that across on the camera, but it is bangs like I didn't think the cap guns would do that. Anyway guys, thank you so much for being here. I'll see you on the next video.